considering using a sander for wet felting, but you're afraid of mixing electricity with water? Or are you convinced that sanding is a great alternative for you, but you don't really know which sander to choose? If so, today's video is for you. Let me tell you a story. I've been wet felting for about 25 years now, but I've only started working with a sander about 3 years ago. Now, I don't consider myself resistant to change, and I'm also not afraid of experimenting with new things, as you may have noticed already. But I have to say, I was terrified of mixing water with electricity. So it took me a long time to really be convinced that using a sander for wet felting was completely safe. So I decided to make this video for you today for two reasons. If you are in a situation like I was about 3 years ago when I experimented with a sander for the first time, or if you're really not sure what things you have to take into consideration, I'd like to offer you a video that gives you all the details, all the explanations, so that you feel safe enough to experiment, to make maybe a small sample using a sander, just to feel comfortable, so that you're then open to making something bigger with a sander, to be more relaxed and to make something bigger. So I'm filming this video for you today, and also I have written a guide about sanding with all the important things you need to know, and I'm going to put the link to that guide in the description below this video, so you can download it if you're interested. So again, we're going to go into this topic of what you need to do to be completely safe when working with a sander, and I'm going to give you a couple of ideas of the sanders that people suggest, that people are using, other felt makers are using, as well as the features you should consider when buying a sander. So why am I going to talk about these features? Because maybe you want to opt for a different brand than those I'm going to suggest, but this way you'll know what is important in a sander. Okay, so let's do this. If you're asking yourself, why should I even learn how to use a sander? Is it really worth it? My answer to you is yes, it is worth it. Now, I don't use my sander for everything I make, but there are two types of projects for which I personally find a sander super useful. For nuno felting and for felting with viscose fiber. Why do I use it for these techniques and not others? Because it takes some preparation to work with a sander. So I only use a sander when the benefits outweigh the work with the preparation. And for nuno felting and working with viscose, the benefits are huge. If you've already worked with any of these techniques, you know that making the fabric and the viscose attached to the wool can be hard. Viscose is slippery, and some fabrics are difficult to attach. Now, the huge pressure made by the sander guarantees the attachment, so it saves you a lot of time and energy. Of course, you can use the sander for other types of felting as well. If you have a studio where your sander is ready and available at all times, it may be worth it. Like everything else in wet felting, there are many different opinions about which is the best sander for our craft. So instead of holding on to a particular brand or model, let's have a look at which are the most important features in a sander for wet felting. Weight is important. I know I'm stating the obvious, but remember that these machines are made for working with wood, for example, and are mainly used by strong men. So these are usually heavy-duty machines. Now, without wanting to be sexist, the reality is that most felt makers are women, and many are older women. So finding a lightweight machine is fundamental. Most sanders are very noisy. One of my students shared in a class that you should always use hearing protection if the noise level is over 85 decibels. She also added that you can use an online decibel meter to check the sound level of your sander. All you have to do is Google decibel meter online and you'll find one. If the vibration is too high, it can also be problematic for people who suffer from arthritis or carpal tunnel syndrome. Many sanders on the market only have one speed, and that's not the best solution for felting. I can tell you that because the only sander I've used is an old one that only has one speed. It's very fast and aggressive. I can work with it, but I have to be extremely careful. It's a bit too much for the layout. So before you decide on a sander, either go directly to the store and talk to the salespeople about what you're looking for, or if you're buying online, make sure you read the product details. If you're part of any felting group, I'm sure you've heard other felt makers recommend the Makita sanders. There are mainly 3 models that I've seen people recommend. The prices of these 3 machines vary according to their weight, vibration and noise level, as well as the possibility of varying speed. And the one I'm planning to buy is the Makita BO3711. It seems to be the most silent, the lightest, and the cheapest one of the 3. I've created a free guide about sanding that also includes the details for these 3 sanders, as well as some of the recommendations from my students. You can find the link for this guide below this video. Today's video is already long, so if you're interested in learning how to prepare the wool and the sander, as well as everything you need to take into consideration in terms of safety measures, make sure you come back next week. And of course, you can also subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video. I hope you've enjoyed today's topic, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.